Hello there, baseball fans. Back for day 2 of our 2031 eMLB draft preview. Yesterday, we covered the first 36 picks on our big board. It's not a mock draft. Did not go through and look at everybody's needs and pick according to that. This is the talent evaluation that was done by the good folks at Backfields Media for eMLB. And if you're wondering when the draft is, it's coming up this Tuesday, May the 13th, 6 o'clock Eastern. We'll have the first 2 rounds, followed by rounds 3 through 5 the following day, the 14th. And all the action takes place over on Twitch, the FKN eMLB channel. Simply a great experience. I love these drafts every year. You may have figured that out by now if you've watched more than 1 or 2 of these. So what's on tap for today? We're going to talk about the second round. That's picks 37 through 68, if my math is right. We're going to look at those. There's some CCPs here. Again, just a reminder, the CCPs were done before the final boosts were put in before the draft. So all of those are going to likely be adjusted up. This is a look at the overall file and the numbers, and we did a lot of crunching and just kind of my own feel for number. I love the draft, love scouting prospects. And this is my chance to do this for the league. Hope you enjoy it. Leave a like and subscribe if you'd like to see something else, or maybe have an idea of how this could be better. By all means, leave it. We'll take a look and try and implement what works. Let's jump right in right now with the number 37 selection in the draft, and it's Jimmy Lake, CCP, Mongolian American. He's 21 years old, currently playing ball in Indiana State. Above average defense at third base. All of the core defensive ratings are above average. Average contact, again, looks to be a little bit of a typical CCP. I think he's going to grow, definitely. The defense at third definitely helps. Very smart player. I see him being a very good power and contact bat. Could see even the speed perk up to just above average. Like the potential for him. Nice, strong kid, 6'3", 210. Think he's going to turn it around, turn the ball around really quickly. Nice, consistent profile, both current and future. Really like this kid a lot. Jimmy Lake is our number 37 pick on our big board. Coming in at number 38 is Sergio Ardila, 22-year-old switch hitter from Bethpage, New York. Goes to Penn State Brandywine right now. Really great bat. Plus bat skills, can hit line drives, does not get cheated, is willing to swing at a strike 3. If he swings at it, he will more than likely make solid contact. You can strike him out, but he's just so efficient. As you see, his 3 years of college, he has put up very consistent numbers. Really good. Even like that 1 year he was kind of down his sophomore year, he still was able to be very efficient, be well above average as a player. Above average speed, really good defense, potentially could play all 3 outfield positions, but is more than likely going to be a corner outfielder for someone. Works hard, character traits off the charts, almost like a coach's kid kind of profile here. Like to see what he's going to do. I think he's going to be an amazing hitter and at a very with all these extra traits as well, very likely to be a starter at some point in his major league career. Sergio Ardila coming in at number 38. At number 39, Joey John, right-handed starting pitcher, only 17, forces weak ground ball contact, is grades out to have plus home run suppression. The thing that the scouts noticed about him is that he progresses through the game and makes adjustments in game, learns hitters, is not fooled the second time around, pitches to his strengths, touching 92 already at the age of 17. Really good kid. Control, again, classic young pitcher, not showing a lot of control right now, harnessing that speed. I think as he gets in the minors and gets some coaching, all of that's going to come up. Like the fastball changeup combination, that could be devastating. The fact that he can change speeds and then toss a sinker in there as well. I like the potential for this young pitcher. I think he's got it. Joey John comes in at number 39. At number 40, Josh Afuso, 17-year-old left-hander, Cleveland, Ohio, committed to Louisville. I have a feeling he's going to get drafted, though. Really great bat, very good contact, has above eye, going to hit for average, and I think the power is going to come as he continues to grow. Maybe that power bat only becomes an average bat, but I think that will be plenty sufficient. Really good corner defensive outfielder, great arm, catches the ball well, works hard, can even play a little bit at first base. I like this a lot. He's well above these numbers as a 17-year-old are well above the age bracket here. I think he would fit right in. Having the time to develop as a youngster, going through the minor leagues, I think it's going to be good for him. Grades out well for us. Josh Afuso coming in at the number 40 spot in our eMLB big board. Wynton Cashman, the 21-year-old right-hander from Markham, Ontario, Canadian relief pitcher with an excellent fastball curveball mix. Fastball plays up much better. Curves a lot more than just a secondary pitch. He's going to be able to get outs with this as well. Comes straight over the top. Think Dwight Gooden with maybe just a little bit less speed. Touches 95. Really good abilities here. Throws a heavy ball. You're not going to be able to drive it far. And above average, just up and down the profile. The more looks he gets, I think the better it's going to be for him. I like the fact that this is another McClure type where he will be able to pitch in high leverage situations and be effective. The fact that he not really relying on ground ball or fly ball much kind of is an intriguing piece of this. I'm curious to see if that adjusts at all as he begins to mature. And I think this profile tends to me to be a typical ground baller profile. We'll see what happens there with him. Wynton Cashman coming in at number 41. The other Elmer twin coming in at number 42. Doran, again, 17-year-old switch hitting shortstop center fielder. Much like his brother, above average defender, excellent base running skills, great character traits. The bat is not as far along as his brother's is, whereas Doran's defense and speed and ability on the base paths is a little more consistent. Again, both brothers have had boosts put in, so they are going to go well above this. Please do not think that Doran Elmer is going to be here at number 42. If he gets past the first round, I would be shocked. This is a great prospect. I think he's going to be, just like his brother, just another dominant player. Will more than likely be in the majors sooner than later. Morgantown, West Virginia will have two elite players in eMLB before too long. Doran Elmer is our number 42 selection rather in this draft. Number 43 on our board, shortstop Steve Hensley, 22-year-old right-handed shortstop from Philadelphia. Goes to Wake Forest. Again, ACC, great competition there. He is an elite infield defender, potentially, all over the diamond. Plays plays shortstop mostly right now, but grades out even higher at second or third. Just tremendous core defensive ability. The arm plays anywhere on the infield and is probably the best of four great skill sets. I also love the fact that he has a lot of speed, can use that on the base paths. His ability to steal is in line with his aggressiveness to do so. It's good base running instincts. The power is far ahead of the contact right now. We're starting to see that a lot in a lot of the younger players because home runs is what gets everybody's attention, right? And these doubles to the gap. This is another kid that's like that. I like the fact that he's also selective and is not just free swinging. His avoid K is up there as well. I'd love to see better eye from him. And maybe when he gets the development lab treatment as he grows up, that will improve. But I like this overall profile a lot. Steve Hensley is going to make it to the majors. He's the number 43 selection on our draft board. Mike Murphy comes in at number 44, 22-year-old from Jackson, Mississippi. Plays center field, and I think could get away with it at the major league level. Plays at LSU, tremendous speed, really great base running instincts, above average gap power. And you know me and my love for triples. That's going to play up. The defense also plays up well, has great corner skills. Again, could play center field. I'd love to see the error rate kind of tick up quite a bit in terms of avoiding them. I think the arm you could get away with in right field. Tends to lean early on, at least a little more left field. I think you could get the most potential out of him from that. Is a line drive pull hitter, both on the ground and to fly ball, but that doesn't seem to be holding him back so much. I think he's selling out a little bit in terms of making solid contact for trying to make big contact. And that's something that I think improves with coaching. Either way, Mike Murphy is our number 44 rated selection on our big board for the 2031 eMLB draft. Mike Ebeling is our number 45 selection from Pea Ridge, say that fast, West Virginia. Goes to East Stroudsburg. He's a college sophomore. This is a five-tool player. And I think the only thing that scouts didn't trust about this profile was the fact that he really hasn't played against very high-level competition. That said, this is a huge power bat. I really like this profile. I think he's got good contact ability as well. Going to be a potential 300 hitter in the majors with power. Yes, please. More of a right side of the diamond infielder, first and second base, little bit of shortstop. I think the arm plays just too low to be a shortstop and maybe, quite frankly, even a second baseman, although you can be tempted to. Um, the range and ability handles it. Might struggle to find his spot per se, because you would look at this and say, okay, well, that's going to be a first base glove, but only at 5'9" he might see some. But honestly, that bat, you're going to have to play that bat. If that power develops, you'll figure it out. A lot of teams cheat and don't really go full on defense much at second base, with apologies to some of our GMs who play elite level defense everywhere. But Mike Ebling would be an interesting project for someone. He comes in at number 45 on our big board. At number 46, Andrzej Sulk, 22-year-old left-hander from Australia, comes from the Czechoslovakia, pitching right now for Nevada and Reno. College senior, had a great senior year. Plus control is a nice 4-pitch mix, like the fastball slider combo. I think the sinker is going to play up just as well as the slider does. Good stamina. He generates weak contact. Always seems to be a step ahead of the hitters. And even though he does not have, even though the stuff is trailing right now, I think the movement and control have been excellent. And I think that would play up well. I don't think this is the kind of kid who's going to get rocked for a lot of deep drives and chased out of a game that way. He's an intelligent pitcher, liked the look, was willing to sign for slot. So, I think I don't see any reason why he would not be taken this high, taken in the second round or even late first if it came to that. Andrzej Sulk is our number 46 prospect on our list. Another pitcher, number 47 on our board, Sean Polito. Another high leverage reliever here. Elite fastball with an above average curve. All of his basic, his core skills rate as above average. I think the stuff is really going to be the key thing here. Looks to be a potential closer spot here again, where the stuff takes over for everything else, but it's not like the control is poor or even the movement is poor. Touches 98, is a power pitcher. I think is not just going to have to wait for the ninth inning. Pitches for Gonzaga, is at good competition level. An easy signing. Will turn 23 before he's drafted, or just as he's being drafted, rather. So a little bit older, has the ability to come up faster through a team's organization. Sean Polito is the number 47 selection. Number 48 is Kevin Keller, another pitcher that's rated out as a closer. Has 3 above average pitches. He comes from Timberlane, Louisiana, 23-year-old. Went to Austin Peay for college. Was their closer last year, had 13 saves in 18 games. Actually started a game, probably on senior day. Really good character traits. Hits his corners well. The fastball plays up. It's already at almost major league average and is his best pitch of the 3. Throws everything fast, just has the sinker and the cutter for the motion. Touches 97, has a standard 3/4 delivery. Just a classic pitcher here. I think the key thing for him is figuring out what is going to differentiate him from anyone else in a bullpen. And I think he might, that might be the interesting thing. It will depend where he goes and what the bullpen makeup is in the minors and for what his organization needs him to be ultimately. Could see him being a 3-pitch closer, could also see him being a multi-inning, high-leverage guy. Has a lot of options here. An easy signing, too. Kevin Keller comes in at number 48. At number 49, 21-year-old right-handed reliever Jeff Mondesir, 6'6", the tall righty from Orange, New Jersey. Another North Carolina pitcher. They had a good team this year, obviously. Nice curveball, fastball mix. The cutter, kind of very much a third pitch, but will probably be functional enough to get the occasional out. He's well ahead of his age group. This is the profile of somebody who's like 23, possibly 24. Grades out to a plus control ultimately with his mechanics. More of a finesse pitcher, so yes, he needs the control. Being able to throw that curveball for strikes is going to be the key for him. He's been able to do it in the ACC. Like his ability to pitch for more than an inning when he comes out. As you see, he had 17 games and pitched 44 innings. So he's used to the workload. That's the kind of pitcher I see being efficient there. Going to have for that arm slot, even 6'6", you don't often see as a finesse pitcher. So that'll be a little bit of an interesting thing to watch as he progresses. Jeff Mondesir comes in at number 49. At number 50, Ian DuPont, 17-year-old second baseman, the right-hander from Cheektowaga, New York. Hope I said that right. Committed to go to Florida State. This might be one of these guys who may decide he wants to try college, depending on where he gets drafted. If he's drafted as high as we think he should be, I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think he's going to be in the majors. The 6'4", 185-pounder, elite power. He's going to hit the ball a long way. Good hitting mechanics. I think the profile will ultimately play up to be average everywhere else, which if that does play out, then that's going to be really good. An average hitter with tremendous power. A smart ball player, good speed, just slightly below average. Needs to learn to kind of harness that on the base paths. Could play second base, but this feels like a first baseman, really. With the speed and with the overall defensive ratings and things, and the fact that he looks like he would be a very good first baseman overall. Could see him doing that. That said, we'll see how quickly it will take to get a team to commit to him completely at first. I want to see what he does in the minors in terms of power, because that's a tremendous potential there. OSA even feels like he'd grade out as above average major leaguer. We think so too. He's our number 50 selection on this draft board. At number 51, Sean Lindroth, 21-year-old right-hander, starting pitcher from New York, New York. And as a switch hitter, batting-wise, not a whole lot to talk about there. Let's focus on the pitching. 5 pitches. Splitter and the curveball are the best. They rate out as plus. Already extremely good in generating weak contact. even though the stuff is not really there, he doesn't have a lot of. I mean, even though he touches 96, he doesn't really throw a four seamer, and he's still managing to hit the corners. He's got very nice control, and just even when a hitter thinks he knows what's coming, it's just a little bit higher or a little bit lower than what they expected. No one is really hitting the ball square on that. The home run suppression has been remarkable. A third of a homer per 9. Every third game he gives up a homer. Sub 3 ERAs in the 2 years of college you see there. I like the stamina. He will go deep into games. Nothing really pops out at you in terms of character. He's just a normal, average guy. And I think this is going to ultimately turn into a very good pitcher. Something like a profile like this that can go deep into games with 5 pitches and not give up a lot of homers. That rates out to a lot of success in professional baseball. One question at this level, see, we rank him at 51st, and he's looking for $4+ million. Will that be a showstopper for some teams? We'll see. We have him at number 51, Sean Lindroth. At number 52, a CCP, Louis Sockalexis, 21-year-old left-handed reliever from Page, Arizona, going to Arizona State. Really nice mix of speeds here with his 4 pitches. Hitting the corners well, has a nice fastball slider change combo. I expect all of this to move up significantly as boosts come in for him. High work ethic, very adaptable. Will the velocity improve? I guess that's the big question. There is a lot to like here. If the velocity improves, maybe get a little more stamina, he could sneak into a starting role. But there's certainly nothing wrong with him as a reliever. I think he's well on his way. I think Sean Paxlayer has a good handle with CCPs. I think this is going to be another example of that. We rate him as the 52nd. I doubt he'll be here at that point. He'll be long gone by the middle of the second round. Louis Sockalexis. Another CCP, Lone Star, starting pitcher, 20 years old from Phoenix, Arizona, also going to Arizona State. 4 above average pitches. Right now is keeping the ball down, is basically avoiding the contact, significant contact right now is how he's getting it. He's fooling a lot of guys. The strikeout rate, despite the low stuff, is still very high considering playing against great competition. Pitching well, fairly deep into games, a good starter, touching 92, above average with stuff and control. And again, as a CCP, all of this is just going to improve. Like this is going to be a nice starting pitcher for someone. Could see him become a dominant marksman in the majors. Lone Star at number 53. Juan Cardenas is the number 54 prospect on the Backfields Media big board. The 21-year-old from Meridian, Mississippi, plays shortstop, has an elite throwing arm, so he can play anywhere on the diamond and does so. 5 positions. Could potentially be a super sub. I like the bat. It grades out to average or better across the board. The gap power is the big thing right now. Above average speed. Lots of good traits here, lots of character traits. This is a guy who can turn into a 5-tool player. We wouldn't quite grade him that as yet, but he's close. I like the fact that he can play shortstop already at such a good level. You'd also be tempted to play him at third with that tremendous arm. Wherever he plays, I think the bat's going to follow. Really good overall prospect. And for someone who's going to be playing the middle of the infield and who is a good teammate, according to the personality sheet, Juan Cardenas, the 54 ranked prospect, going to be a good one. Number 55 is Mike Dunn, another shortstop. He's 22 years old, from Warren, Ohio. Went to school in East Carolina, had a solid season this year. He's a defender. Good glove, some hit is basically the book on him. The defensive ratings are ranked plus. Will ultimately have above average power and eye. So that's something good for him. Highly adaptable. Doesn't have the speed you typically see from a middle infielder at this spot. That said, he's not so slow as for it to be a drag on his ability. I want to see how the contact improves over time. See where he gets drafted and where the development lab helps him or just his overall training. Needs a little bit of focus, but just the elite level ability to play shortstop suggests to me he will play in the majors at some point. He's not going to break the bank either with his signing bonus request. Mike Dunn coming in at number 55. At number 56, Jake Glasser, 21-year-old shortstop. We got a run of shortstops right now. From Dearborn Heights, Michigan, going to school at Central Florida. He's a junior in college, playing against great competition there. Above average contact, plus range on the left side of the diamond. Solid speed. Potential to be a 5-tool star if the power gets there. 4 tools is not bad. Overall profile looks just about where you'd expect a 21-year-old to be. What we think is that the mechanics and the ability to play every day, play all day, every day, and not being, devoted, having time broken up between anything else, those mechanics are just going to be enhanced. Really prepares well, has solid arm, and is short-handed in the infield. He's a good young kid with a lot of potential here. Jake Glasser, the number 56 selection on our draft board. Mike Sanford comes in at number 57, 18-year-old second baseman from Marblehead, Massachusetts. Committed to Florida State. He's a high school senior. Had a typical, I want to play in the majors high school senior year, hit .474, slugged .859. Okay. That'll play. Above average batting profile, the power really jumps out at you. That power with a high contact rate is going to lead to very good things. Play second base, could also play a little bit of third, although the arm is suspect. Classic second base profile with his defensive ratings. The thing that really, once you get past the power, if you look down at that left corner, looking for a $7 million bonus. For someone at this level, that might be a little much. This feels like he's got one of the power scouts, the power agents pushing that number. Will someone pay it, or is there someone out here whose number is much lower than that? We will see come draft night as to where he goes. This is the kind of player who I don't see this as a first rounder, but kind of hard to argue with that bat as well. I'm curious to see where this player will end up. We have him towards the late middle of the second round, Mike Sanford. Chris Barker is our number 58, right-handed reliever. Really solid arm speed, touches 96. He's from New York, New York. Goes to University of Louisiana at Lafayette, which is fairly good competition there. Played all 4 years. Touches 96. Nice profile, kind of where you want to see a prospect at this point. The fastball is what's graded out a little higher than everything else. That's close to major league ready. He's got good skill set, core skills right above average, is a good teammate. Curious, I just want to see kind of how he progresses. When he gets picked and when he gets slotted in the minors, what he does from there immediately is going to kind of tell the tale. We're kind of leaning on the side of, if most of these ratings go to, 85 to max potential, he'll be in the majors. We're starting to get into that part of the draft with the non-CCPs where maybe there's some question, or maybe this is a 4A guy. We think Chris Barker will make it, though. That 96 at this point is kind of hard to ignore. We think he'll make it. Chris Barker is number 58. Juan Puentes, 22-year-old from Wyoming, Michigan. College senior, went to Grace. 3 above average pitches, has very good stuff. Can keep the ball down, has very good leadership traits. Liking what I see here in terms of the mix. All 3 pitches can be just as effective as each other. That is so key for a reliever. If he walks out there and one of those pitches just isn't going through the strike zone right, or there's a team that's just like, can hit the cutter, something like that. Nice to have 2 to fall back on. Highly respected among folks that have played with him and against him. Did very well in some of the prospect camps. Control needs a little bit of work, but that will grade out to be slightly below average. Ultimately, we think good personality traits as well. This is going to be an interesting player. I think he'll have more than a chance to make the majors. Juan Puentes comes in at number 59. Pat Raris, 23-year-old left-hander from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, went to Texas college. This is one of the more curious, fascinating. It's the secondary skills profile taken to the min-max extreme. Elite base running skills, never drops a ball. More of a corner outfielder than a center fielder, but could potentially play center. Also has first base ability, has very good gap power, and again with the speed. And the rest of the batting profile plays below average, but not so below average that he could not be useful as a player. Could see him as a 4th or possibly 5th outfielder with pinch running and defensive capabilities. I could also see this batting rating slide all the way to the right in terms of potential, and he'd be an everyday starter for somebody with that speed and defense. Highly adaptable. Interesting personality comment. Our scout said a hard worker, slow learner, or both. Interesting. Not the best in terms of baseball intelligence, tries to rely on his athletic ability, I think, a little too much. But with what we're seeing here, that's not enough to just pass him by. We think he'd be a very good second round pick for someone. Pat Raris comes in at number 60. At number 61, I have to admit, I ran these numbers 3 separate times because I thought I'd lost my mind. Kieran Donnelly, there's some other members of our scouting group that apparently had problems. CCP, 21-year-old shortstop, makes solid contact, above average speed and base running, and an above average defender. I'm sorry, folks, if we are wrong on this, I think. Backfields media is missing on this guy. If Kieran Donnelly is here at number 61, we are broken. I think this is a tremendous player. And as a CCP, I think with the boosts that are coming for him, he's one of the ones that had some. I think the batting ratings are going to play up. The speed and defense already plays extremely well. Doesn't have to be a leader. I think he's well within that capability to be he's an American-Australian player. I think this is going to be a future shortstop in the major leagues. If you get him this low, it is a steal. Kieran Donnelly, however, comes in at number 61 in the Backfields media big board. And now I'm reminded of that book, The Madness of Crowds. Number 62 is Chris Frazier, another shortstop from Sharonville, Ohio, goes to Valparaiso University. Only a college sophomore. This is a defensive specialist with some decent pop. Plus defense with a near elite arm, can play the left side of the diamond. Is grades out as a better shortstop now, ultimately a better third baseman. I could see that, especially with the speed as it is there. Very good range. This is a defensive gem. The bat plays well, has very solid contact, will avoid striking out. Gap power slightly above average. Power and eye kind of falls off a little bit from that, but I think this is a good overall profile. Without the speed and without the sheer power and maybe some of the problems with eye, I wonder if this is major league potential or not. I definitely see this as a good bench player, especially with the defense, and could get you a hit here and there. I think it's just as he develops in the minors will go a long way to determine whether he's a 4A guy or whether he's not. Chris Frazier coming in at number 62. Another CCP who I don't think will fall this far, Chris Christopherson, 18-year-old right-handed first baseman from Toronto, Ontario. Committed to San Diego Christian, has a well above average offensive profile, has excellent eye and power, good contact, works hard at his game. Boost will go a long way. I think he's got good work ethic and intelligence. This is a very nice overall player. Kind of a classic first baseman mold of he's there to get hits, draw walks. I kind of like the way this could play out. More of a pull hitter when he hits it on the ground, but can hit to all fields with fly balls. Works out a lot, so he's trying hard there. Good first baseman here. Chris Christopherson, we have him ranked 63rd overall. Number 64, Kamani Sampi, 21-year-old right-handed shortstop from Lineville, Marchwood, Pennsylvania. Goes to Iowa. It's great competition. Can play all over the infield. Has elite range. And I could see him just really at any infield position here. He rates out as elite at second base and plus at third and short. Definitely see that. Potential has an above average bat, and it's like above average in everything, like in power, in contact, and in eye. That is going to help him a lot. That much offense combined with the defensive skill he has and the good base running instincts, more so than anything else. Also is kind of sneaky fast when it comes to getting steals. Could be a bit of a steal for someone. Looking for $1 million in a signing bonus, which to me kind of high for this low in the second round. But, I kind of go back and forth in terms of signing bonuses because, guys want, $5, $6, $7 million and we all freak out. If this guy ends up being a major league player, you're going to pay him more than $5, $6, $7 million over the course of his career. That's just going to be table stakes at some point. Easy to say, though, because I used to run a franchise that had zero money. So go figure. Kamani Sampi, though, comes in at number 64 on our draft board. Danny Gartner coming in at number 65. He's been kind of all over the place in terms of our evaluation, and it has more to do with where he's at than where he's going to be. This is a 17-year-old, and it is the classic teenager conundrum in terms of baseball talent. You see what he did in high school against average competition. Got a hit every other time. Slugged .888. Right now, the mechanics translate to being a tremendous bat. He's got a long ways to go. This is the typical 17-year-old where they're at. He's well ahead of his age range in terms of avoiding strikeouts. He can put the bat on the ball. He hits line drives well. With as with any high schooler, the question is going to be, how is he going to adjust to facing young adults in the minors who are also trying to make their way through and not just looking for something to do in the afternoon. I think, and the staff here thinks, that he has the potential to be very special. And with that much potential, it is hard to ignore. This is the kind of project that you want to take, and you want to be very careful, very selective. You want to put him through the development lab every season. You want to work on him so that he gets the most out of this. And what you may end up with at the end of the day is an elite hitter at first base. Danny Gartner, going to be one of the interesting picks in the upcoming draft. You want to see where he goes. At number 66, CCP, Roger Lemons from Houston, Texas, and went to Texas. They also had a great team this past year. 4 above average pitches, very solid movement for his age. Grades out to have high peak ability, and it's because of the type of CCP he is. He can be maxed out in a lot more spots than the average CCP. Just is going to be, I think, very tremendous. It will come down to how many boosts he gets if his creator is active and boosts, and I think that's going to happen. This is probably going to be a guy who's not going to be available this low in the second round. CCPs tend to go a little bit higher. This is just a grade out. Tried to factor in a lot for CCPs, but it's kind of hard to judge. I didn't want to make them so overwhelmingly rated higher that they just kind of flooded the market, because we all know these guys and they're all going to go. That's why I reviewed them separately. But Roger Lemons is going to be a phenomenal CCP. He comes in number 66 on our draft board, so that could be some bulletin board material for his motivation. Roger Lemons. Heading to the home stretch of the second round, Mike Zerker comes in, 20-year-old left-hander, almost 21, from Tustin, California, goes to Northwood, Florida. He's a junior in college, 4-pitch mix. The splitter is his best pitch. The ball gets hit on the ground a lot with him. Is more of a location guy than a blow it past you. But with that said, the ball also stays in the park. And it's kind of shown up with his skill set as far as keeping the ball down. The control slightly ahead of where the stuff is. I think ultimately this is going to be a very nice starting pitcher with a nice mix. We'll just need to max out his ability to control and not allow homers. The more he reaches his potential there, the more valuable he's going to be as a pitcher. Good character traits, goes deep in games, touches 94. Mike Zerker is our number 67 prospect on our big board. And our final player for today, number 68, is Chris Bogdan, 17-year-old. He's declared as a closer from Muskegon, Michigan. Has not selected a college, so is kind of looking to get drafted. I think he will be. Plus rated control, keeps the ball down. Only touching 91, only, as 17 years old. Obviously rated as a finesse pitcher. A lot of skill there. I think the character traits, he's got good leadership ability. Need to see that fastball get beyond, just slightly below average. I think the slider will play up. Another guy who is going to need all of the skill of the pitching coaches in the minor leagues to get the most out of him. That said, I think he's got some good potential here. If all of the potential plays up, he'd be in the majors. Maybe not closing games, but definitely a solid pitcher and taking some serious bullpen innings there. Chris Bogdan ends our second round. It's worth of big board coverage at number 68. Just a reminder, the draft is coming up. It'll be Tuesday, May the 13th at 6 p.m. for the first two rounds. The first round is in the can, as they say. And Commish will announce who's getting picked in the first round. And after that, it is live draft. And that is the most exciting, terrifying, depending on where you're sitting for the draft. You can watch it all at twitch.tv at FKN Commish LB. It is such a great community, and we enjoy that part of the year so much. It's really a great presentation. I love the work Commish and the family put into that, especially Rocky Draws with the amazing artwork, as you can see some of it here. Just amazing. If you like what you saw, please like the video, subscribe, come follow us on Twitch. We're there Tuesday and Thursday nights for Game of the Night. Sunday morning, Coffee with the Commish at 10. And then we have these special events as are coming up here. Thank you so much. And for all the folks who provide media content and support Backfields Media along with me. I'm Tim Lowry. Hope you have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow with round 3.